back with comedian Boyle, and I'm quitting alcohol. So today we release the 100th episode of the Opression Chamber podcast. 6 years it took, 6 different hosts, several assaults, had to delete, I don't know how many we had to fucking delete, but we had to delete a fucking lot of episodes. But today finally fucking got there. 100 episodes of the Opression Chamber podcast, my baby. I released the audio of the live show we did at the end of last year. If you want to go listen to it, head to the Opression Chamber. It's pretty fucking funny. I re-listened to it today. It was such a fun fucking night. So yeah, 6 fucking years of work and dealing with some of the most fucked up comedians in, I'm going to say, the world. I've done comedy all around the world now, and I haven't seen anything that compares to the retardation and incompetence of some of the fucking cunts down in Melbourne. I specifically mean the cunts that I work with. Your fucking Oshkas, your Dawes, your Izzies, your fucking Andrew Robertses, your Doms, your Mileses. Just fucking train wreck after train wreck, including myself as well, but fucking got there. I can't even explain to you how much that podcast has taught me. How many realizations I've had because of that podcast. Like, oh my God, you cannot work with comedians. Like, it's impossible. You just can't get them to do anything besides talk. And most of the time, they can barely even fucking do that. If you get them to the microphone, maybe they'll talk most of the time. But fucking ask them to do anything else, and it's just like, most comedians should be fucking homeless. Even now, even fucking today, I had an argument for about 2 hours with fucking Izzy Ali, the other cunt on the Opression Chamber. He's basically, he's like, dude, I think I've got like 3 episodes left. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Because what happened is, I'm going down to Melbourne next Thursday for Mark Oshka's wedding to Karen Story. Both of them have been on the Opression Chamber. They've been on it a bunch of times. Everyone who's going to the wedding either listens to the Opression Chamber or has been on it or fucking has something to do with it. So I'm like, what we should do is at the reception, we'll bust out the microphones and we'll do a fucking live podcast at the reception of this wedding when everyone's fucking cooked. We can just trash the comedians. We can do this and we can do that, whatever. Izzy's like, oh, I'm not really feeling it, man. I'm like, I don't really care what you feel. Let's just do it. It'll be funny as fuck and we can release it on the Patreon. We'll start a Patreon for the Opression Chamber. It doesn't have a lot of fucking fans, but it has a few cult. It has a little cult following, all right? And the people who love it, they love it. And they would love something like that. And we can fucking bleed them for fucking some money. And Izzy's like, yeah, man, but like, I'm not into doing like trashy things. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? You're from fucking Werribee. Not into trashy things. Your whole fucking life has been trash. And he's like, you're into trashy things, Boyle. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm into trashy things. What the fuck are you talking about? I'm like, just fucking trust me on this one. It's going to be great. It's going to be fun. And the people that listen are going to love it. All right? Can you just trust me? And I could feel Izzy was like 2 more messages away from fucking like quitting the podcast again. He was on the borderline. And then I had to, I'm like, what do you want out of comedy, Izzy? What do you want out of all this shit? Because the podcast is a 2-hour a week investment. Like, how can you not fucking invest that? And it's got a lot of fucking upside to it. I'm like, let's just do the wedding thing. He's like, nah. And then fucking door chimes in. He's like, I'm not into it either. I'm like, you stupid fucking cunts. Both of you. I know exactly what's going to happen as well. I know exactly what's it's going to be the same thing that happened during the live podcast we did at the end of last year. These cunts can't see like fucking 2 seconds ahead of them. I knew exactly what was going to happen at the live podcast last year as well. I knew they would get there, they would see the crowd, they would get energized by it. They'd be like, oh my God, this is actually a thing. The night would go amazing, and then they would both make up and everything would be fucking great. Which is exactly what happened. And I know exactly what's going to happen at the wedding as well. These cunts are going to start drinking. They'll get on the fucking MDMA. They'll start feeling fucking good. They'll be like, let's get the fucking microphones out and do a podcast. And I'll be there going, really? Really? We should do a podcast, should we? 100% that's going to happen. Dor will be the one leading the charge for that as well. Out of all of us, I'll be the one who wants to do it the least on the day. And these two cunts are like resisting now. Jesus fucking Christ. This is why I don't want to work with comedians anymore. I can't fucking handle it. You can't get them to fucking do anything in their own self-interest either. I'm not even asking them to sacrifice anything. This is all in their own self-interest, and they can't fucking make it. They just can't fucking see it. And I can't show it to them either. I've been trying to show it to them for fucking 3 goddamn years now. I've been trying to show it to them for 6, but Izzy, Dor, 3 years. I'm like, there's a certain amount of people that jump from my podcast to the Opression Chamber, and then they love the Opression Chamber as well. Plus we pick up listeners from all over the place. This thing can pop. And Izzy's like, you've been saying that for years, man. And I'm like, we haven't released fucking more than 4 episodes a week in a row for 3 years. We're releasing them like once every 3 months, and then once every 6 weeks, and then maybe we'll do 2 weeks in a row, and then we'll have an argument, and then we'll release 3 months later. It's like, give the people at least a little bit to fucking chew on. Now, from now on with the Opression Chamber, we either release every week with a Patreon at the end of the episode, a half-hour Patreon for people to jump on board, and then videos of the live shows, keep doing the live shows and all that sort of shit, and fucking just drive it into the ground, whatever, or I just can't do it anymore. I can't keep fucking trying to show these cunts the light. Oh my God, that's not where I was going with this episode. It was more going to be a nostalgic episode about the growth I've had through the Opression Chamber and how it influenced this podcast. But fucking, the main thing I've learned is comedians are fucking the most useless cunts in the entire world. My fucking God. Anyway, if you want to check out the episode, the live show, it's pretty good. The audio's come out pretty good and it's fun. Go check it out. Opression Chamber podcast. While you're there, when you're listening to it, give us a fucking subscribe on Spotify if you're there, just so I can fucking show these cunts. Look, it's growing. It's growing. Now can you fucking just listen to me? Please. Jesus fucking Christ, these cunts. Yeah, anyway, that'll do for today. If you're enjoying the podcast, give it a share around, and I'll see you the fuck later.